Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Will Show. I'm your host, Dr. Will, and we are hanging out with Ami Shah from Peekapak today. Look, why did I mess that up? And we will be talking about the company and the wonderful work they're doing. Uh, Amy is the first vendor to be on the show. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. We connected at ISTE, and you showed me your product and everything, and I was like, this is really cool, and decided to bring you on the show. So for the folks who are watching and may not know who Amy Shah is, Amy, will you please introduce yourself?
Definitely. So I am the co-founder and CEO of Peekapak, and we are a character education program that works both in class and at home. So our goal is to really make teachers and parents partners in early childhood education. So we're focused around pre-K to grade 3.
Really cool, really cool. Now, what was the genesis and or pain point for starting the company?
So, I mean, we started this out of pure passion for storytelling. My co-founder, her name is Angie Chan. She loves writing children's books, and she's, at an early age, she wrote these books, and recently she, pursued her dream to write her first children's book. And the whole idea was that these two kids would, throughout the story, open this little red box, and as they open the box, it takes them on these amazing adventures. And as they open the box every day to go on more and more adventures, the box gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a metaphor for their imagination. And we wondered, could you create products and learning opportunities that really encourage a sense of imagination, this engagement, this type of learning that kids keep coming back to and wanting to learn. And that was kind of the starting point. And ever since then, we've been working with educators, been designing these stories that really lead the type of learning that we want to encourage in young children.
Cool. So, of all the topics and skills that you could have chosen, why, character education?
Definitely. So character education is something that Angie and I both grew up with, very close to our hearts. I mean, we think that, the next generation, we know that these types of skills have helped us become successful in our careers, in terms of making other friends, being able to, explore the world. And it's something that, in our learning, and our teachers had really instilled in us. And so when we started designing our materials and talking to educators consistently, every single educator would say, character education is essential. It's something that they try to model every single day. But it's so hard with all the, pressure to enforce the Common Core, to, encourage, standardized lessons and learning that they don't necessarily always get to. And so we saw an opportunity to really bring really high quality materials, engaging and relatable materials through these stories to talk about these topics, but also aligned to the standards. So all our materials are aligned to ELA Common Core standards. But for us, we just truly believe that these types of skills will prepare young children for lifelong success. We see this as Angie and I, we met when we were 9 years old, and a big part of it was that we worked as a team as students, and we loved working together, and this has helped us, I think, in the workplace. It's helped us develop a company, and these are the types of skills, be it self-regulation or teamwork or perseverance, that we think will help in any kind of success, be it academic or in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm a district instructional technologist, and whether it's AR, Compass, ClassWorks, or a lot of different other software programs out there, we see a lot of stuff come through the district, and we're pitched a lot of things. With Peekapak, what can teachers and schools and parents expect? And could you walk us through the experience?
Definitely. So I'm going to share my screen, and what you'll see is our website right now currently in private beta. So we've been working close hand in hand with a number of educators across the US to really design a really easy turnkey kind of platform that provides resources for both teachers and parents to teach these concepts in a really fun way. So I'll log in. You'll see this is a teacher platform, and how we organize it is that there's 10 units throughout the year. So topics like in September, the first one will be self-regulation. There'll be topics around empathy, teamwork, perseverance, courage, and each of them is led by a storybook. So I'll go into a unit. You'll see an overview here, and right away you'll see the storybook overview, what the social emotional learning is and the character ed topic, what kind of vocabulary. So as I mentioned, it's all aligned to the ELA Common Core standards. And so we have lesson plans that teachers can use in class to be able to reinforce this lesson, and then corresponding at-home activities that they can easily share to their parent community to reinforce that concept. So I'll go into one of the, in the first aspect of the program is the read aloud. And so the teachers get a digital access to our original storybook. So this is what Angie writes, and we have a full-time illustrator that does these beautiful illustrations. And you can walk through this read aloud on an interactive whiteboard or iPads. And for this read aloud, there's all the kind of requirements, the kind of standards is aligned to, and then all the questions you can ask before, during, and after to engage your class. We also will have 4 lesson plans that you can use on a weekly basis throughout that month to reinforce that concept. So these are all activities that you can do. So for example, in our Tree of Happiness book, we bring that story to life with an actual mural. So we give you the handout that you can print out and create your own happiness tree. Each student can write a tag about what makes them grateful or happy in their lives. And it becomes an interactive activity that reinforces the concepts in the book, but also encourages them these Common Core standards around ELA. And we provide all the implementation as a class independently and how you can extend that type of learning. Each of these also has at-home activities that you can send to parents. So as you complete a lesson, you actually are sending an update to the parents about what you taught in class today, you know, how they can reinforce this, and then here's an activity that you can actually do. You're also tracking, you know, which students are practicing which standards. So you have a log of, you know, how they're doing that. So I can show you that quickly. All you do is press send and complete. And then you're able to see the student progress. So you'll see the student progress for each of the students. You're able to go into reports. So this is just kind of a quick kind of overview of how the different students are progressing. I'm doing really well here. This is my demo account. You can see which units you've completed and how far you've gone. And then also we have a whole new tool that allows you to track the progress that students are making on character education. So character is a hard thing to measure, and what we're trying to do is provide benchmarks to educators to say yes or no whether certain students have accomplished things, and what kind of, like, this is the overall heat map. So as I complete something, it turns green. Things that, you know, need work will be red. Things that are in progress are yellow. Under these 4 categories of understanding, thinking, application, and communication. So this is something that we're testing with a number of educators, and we're doing pilots at schools starting in September as well. The other thing I mentioned is that you're able to easily share with parents. And so we provide a tool. So as you set up your class, you're able to invite parents. I can easily put their email address in. They'll get an email to access the platform. And then they get their own access to their own version of the platform. So as a parent, it says, "Hi, Amy. This is we're so happy that you're, you know, joining Peekapak," and you'll see my child, basically their child's progress and update. This is how the program works, and we're excited to get started. They can go into that same unit, understand what you're as a teacher, what you're teaching in class, and then access that same storybook. So rereading a storybook has lots of great benefits. So they can read that storybook, and they could do activities to be able to do this at home so they can actually reinforce that learning. So we've tried to make this really easy for both teachers and parents to use. We're looking forward to working with a number of educators to really like, you know, test the program, provide us feedback, and how do we really improve it? As an early company, we're eager to get, you know, engaged, passionate teachers telling us how we can make this even better. So as I mentioned to you, Dr. Will, before, we're happy to extend a free 1-year license to any educator who would be willing to give me feedback on how we can make this a better product. So that's it for the demo.
Excellent, excellent. But I have a question. Well, what I love, one of the things I really love most about this is you have a host of diverse characters, and that is definitely important. And as we hopefully embrace the fact that we live in a very diverse, multicultural earth. What was the decision in making your characters so diverse?
Yeah, I mean, we have a very idealistic, passionate team of employees. So we actually brought everyone to the table and said, you know, in an ideal world, what would we want to design as like our community, and what kind of diversity, what kind of, you know, different talents, what kind of world do we want to create that, you know, showcases that these are the new role models for the next generation of kids. And for us, that was really exciting, and it was essential for us to showcase that, you know, there is diversity in the world, and this is representative of the new of today, of like this is the world that we live in. And it's not only diversity in terms of cultural diversity, but I'll quickly show you on our website. It's actually diversity in terms of their talents, their interests. So we have Menka here, who's an aspiring architect, Cody, who wants to become a painter, Brady, who's our aspiring musician, or Lucia, she wants to be an electrical engineer, or Ines, who loves to code and program. We wanted to showcase this diversity that, you know, these are the new role models that, you know, we aspire that we would want our children to grow up with, the next generation to grow up with. And even beyond that, like even the buildings in Peekaville, so you can see Peekaville Elementary here, we've actually worked with our illustrator that this is like what kind of world do we want to live in? And for us, creativity is the aspiration. So all our buildings are actually inspired by the Spanish architect Gaudi, who we think is like one of the best in class in terms of creativity. Each building and each interior to each of our different storybooks has a lot of care and detail in it. And so that for us is very exciting, and we really strive to show that ideal.
Mm-hmm. So where do you see students benefiting from Peekapak, and what makes Peekapak different from other programs out there who say they too are here to teach students various different better character traits or better values?
Yeah, and I think a big part of our program kind of goes back to those characters and those storylines. So we looked at a whole bunch of programs out there, and we've been testing with teachers, and consistently they come back saying, you know, a lot of programs kind of tell you what to do, like, you know, you need to be a team player, you need to do this. Instead, what we do is we make this a really fun, engaging experience for students. So we use stories to creatively explore a topic, to make it memorable, to make it relatable. And so all of a sudden, like, students, they don't know that they're learning these concepts. It becomes intuitive to like start exploring these topics, to want to learn, ask questions. And we find this is a more engaging, memorable, and relatable way for students to learn these concepts and really just have fun. Like, they want to go back home and talk to their parents about this. They want to do the follow-on activities. And we're already seeing this right now. We're testing in Khan Academy's lab school. Right away, the students, as they learn the stories, we have chapter books for the older ages. They're like, please, can we read the next chapter? Like, we want to hear the story. So we think our stories and our characters make it very relatable. And I think that's really a distinctive part of our program.
Excellent. Now, for those who will watch this episode, and hopefully it'll be a whole bunch of you folks out there, how can they get in contact with you?
Definitely. So we're looking to work with passionate educators who want to test or pilot our program. We're happy to give you again free access for the year as we test with you. All we ask is for feedback, and you can email me at ami@peekapak.com, or you can contact me on Twitter. It's at Peekapak, Peekapak, or my personal handle, which is AMISHAHDOTCA. I'd love to connect and talk to you further.
Awesome. Now, before we go, I want to ask you about schools. So, for the schools that will say this is something that we are interested in bringing into our classrooms, in terms of the learning experience, because I really enjoyed the Common Core alignment and the different activities. For me, that just blows me away, hands down, for there. But for those who are contemplating bringing you in, what should they expect?
In terms of the program, or?
Well, yes, overall, in terms of meeting certain, learning goals.
Oh, definitely. So, I mean, for us, like, we want to work hand in hand. So if there's schools who do want to work with us, first off, like, I'm happy to personally do a virtual, like, Google Hangout, train your staff on the program, take them through, the learning objectives, how this works, and check in and provide support. Secondly, in terms of the programs, we've aligned all our materials to ELA Common Core standards. So you can feel rest assured that as you're doing the program and doing the lesson plans, you're covering off the majority of the standards. The only ones that we really don't necessarily incorporate initially are the nonfiction related standards, just because we're very focused on our current texts, which are all fiction. And then lastly, there's a whole piece around character ed. So for a lot of schools, they're not measuring the impact of these character programs. So how do you know if students are comprehending or demonstrating these concepts? And so we tried to make our program a bit more results oriented. So how do you show progress? So what we do is a pre-post analysis, and we give a tool for educators that they can first kind of do a inventory of how the students are doing on these different benchmarks, and we lay all those benchmarks out. It's all digital. And then at the end of the unit, they can again go do a post assessment and say, okay, Johnny has really, demonstrated this by, sending a thank you card to their grandma, or they've done, they've been able to communicate or identify these emotions in this character. And so we've basically worked with our experts. We have a number of experts, from a positive psychologist to an early childhood expert on our panel, to basically design these metrics to make it really easy for a school to understand, okay, as an overall school, as we're doing this program, our students are progressing on these topics, and this is making an impact on their learning and development.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for sharing, Amy. It has been great having you on the show today. We will have information on the website for people to be able to check in with you as well. So as always, folks, thanks you for watching another episode of the Dr. Will Show. As always, be you, EDU, and I'll see you next week. Peace.